Decepticons, we're under attack! Scramble! Scramble! For the last time, I'm not one of your Decepticons! Fine, I'll go fight your giant planet-eating planet thing. Hello everyone, welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Ron13, and today we are finally reviewing the HG Build Fighters Scramble Gundam. So before we take a look at the figure itself, we're going to take a look at the box. So we got really cool looking illustration of the Scramble Gundam with all its glowy blue Pulaski particle parts. You can also see it in its, I think they call it a bird mode or mobile arm mode, I don't know. Whatever, it looks really cool in this illustration. Still got the red Bandai logo because this was before they had switched over to that. On the side, we still got the same illustration as before, number 47 in the line, HG Build Fighters, BandaiHobby.net, Build Fighters Try! Then on this side, we got nice painted build of the Scramble Gundam. It in some action shots. There's all the characters from Build Fighters Try. Well, main characters, I should say. A bunch of text in Japanese that I cannot read. More text in Japanese that I cannot read. And because this is slightly older, it's weird saying that because it's not that old of a kit, you still have the list price on here. So this originally went for 2,200 yen. So, what, about 22 bucks there? Give or take. On this side, same as the other. And then this side, some really cool action shots. It does all of these things with beam sabers and guns and flight and transformation. And look, it does stuff over here too. I don't know what it's trying to call out here. Yeah. That's enough of the box. Let's take a look at the Scramble Gundam itself. And here's the orange dude himself looking pretty darn snazzy. Let's give him a look over. So primary colors in this, as you can see, are white, blue, orange, with some yellow for accents. Something to note that I did on mine, I don't know how well it comes out, but behind a lot of these little blue crystal bits, I used some silver Gundam marker to try to see if I could get a nice little reflective thing going on. Truth be told, I don't know if it came out very well. You can sort of see it in the knee, but it may not have been worth the extra time I put into it, but it happened. I did it. I don't think it looks horrible. I don't think it detracts from the kit, but it may not be something that you necessarily need to do on your copy. So, articulation-wise, he's got a fairly standard HG neck that allows for a little bit of back and forth movement. In fact, let's zoom in on that head sculpt. Really nice looking head sculpt. Even be better if it's focused. Very Zeta Gundam-esque, though he's got the little face vent things, but he's got the longer sort of chin piece beard thing, but the V-fin is vaguely Zeta in style. Anyway, for articulation, you got the fairly standard movement, ball socket joint down there, which allows for a little bit of movement back and forth. You can look up a little bit, but not much. He can look left and right, but he cannot rotate his head all the way around because his chin will bump into these parts here. And yes, he does have a fairly nasty seam line that goes along the side of his head. Doesn't show up quite much on the camera, but it's there. It's something that you could probably take care of if you want to do some seam line removal. Nice thing, though, is that I don't think it affects the little crest bit here. So yeah, let's get zoomed back out and we can resume articulation talk. So arms are on well, that just happened. Yeah, that is something, and we'll go over that a little bit more. These don't want to stay on super secure, but that's okay. Arms are on a ball socket joint, but they're also on a neat little polycap thing that gives you a butterfly joint. So it's actually pretty nice. So you can have the arm go right across the chest. It looks really decent. You got bicep rotation up here. You got double jointed elbow, but because of the armor, you don't get much of a bend. And there is rotation at the forearm and standard rotation on the hand right there. And hopefully you guys saw all that on camera. You got restricted movement at the waist because of all the armor and stuff. A little bit of back and forth ab crunch. About what you expect from an HG kit. Legs can move that far up. Knee can bend fairly nice, actually. The only restriction is you got this big piece of armor right here that's going to keep it from going all the way. And then you got ball joint set up here, which allows for some nice ankle posing. I think it can, yeah, it can go up like that. And you can also do that with the toe. That's primarily for its transformation. So articulation-wise, fairly standard. If you want, you can split the skirts on here. I was feeling nervous about doing it this time around, so I just left it alone. Back skirts, obviously, are stationary, and that's fairly standard for an HG kit. Oh, the wings. I can't believe I almost forgot that. That's like his primary thing. So you can rotate this piece around all the way like that if you really want to, but why would you do that? And it's got joints here on the back that let go back and forth and rotate a little bit as well. So you can get some nice wing poses out of this guy. Just keep in mind, his wingspan is actually pretty decent, and that means if you want his wings out like this, he's going to take up a lot more space on the shelf. When I had him on display before I did the review, I actually had his wings just folded down like you saw. I like how there's a gap here so that way you can basically fold it through these little glowy feather bits. Create a slightly different look and just sort of slim down the profile while still getting neat feather look. It would be cool if all these parts were articulated, but they're not. I also kind of wish that maybe this was like the hot Scramble Gundam from Versus, which had actual removable fin funnels, but that's not an actual kit, sadly. At least not yet. I'm surprised it hasn't been made. Oh, you have a little bit of articulation here in the waist, so you can rotate things around. And there is one of my problems. The legs don't want to stay on super secure. I mean, they're not going to fall off at the drop of a hat, but if you mess with them too much, they will pop off. Okay. But still, with the articulation you got, you can get them in some fairly nice poses. You just got to account for the weight of the backpack and wings. Accessory-wise, he doesn't come with too much. He's got his little beam cannon shield things, which are removable if you want, but you got to be careful. Ah! as I was saying, you got to be somewhat careful because if you pull these off, you can pull these crystal things off. I may just go ahead and glue these into place just so that way it stops doing that. Get a better look at these. And basically they're just little shields with a gun. Goes pew pew. It's got a vent in the back. Doesn't do too much, but it looks kind of neat. Maybe if it was a little bit bigger, I think it would have a bit more of a wow factor. But they are trying to go for a more slim and slick appearance. He also has 2 beam sabers, which are stored in the side skirt armor. And he has 2 beam saber blades, though I can't find the other one for some reason, that can connect in. And these are sort of a flat style one, as opposed to the more rounded ones that we've seen with some of the past kits I've reviewed here. And I'm guessing this is just sort of a Zeta thing. And you can just pop them in his hand. Or her hand, depending on what pronouns you want to use for this thing. And it looks pretty cool wielding a beam saber. A lot of my Gundams, even though I love swords, a lot of them are displayed with holding their beam rifles. But this guy, I think, is going to have a beam saber permanently attached. Man, that looks cool. Okay, other accessory is this little thing. And what is it? Any guesses? Some of you cheated because you have this kit. This is a little connector bit that goes over its chest for transformation. And hey, that sounds like a segue. So, let's handle transformation. So, to start off, we're going to rip him apart! No? Well, you do have to actually pull him apart. It says so in the instructions. There we go. Set that aside. It shows next, we make sure that his wings are fully extended. So that way they look super cool. Because you can't have wings and not have them look super cool. You just can't. It's like against the law or something. International law. Look it up. Legs, we're going to fold the feet like I showed. And I'm looking at the instructions to make sure I'm doing everything correct. And as is fairly standard for most transformation things, you also kind of bend the knees backwards a bit, like so. Whoosh. Wait, no. I'm missing a part. Okay, then we connect them upside down. And I guess the reason they don't have you rotate him at the waist is because, well, he can't with the way he's designed. And we're almost there. Next, we're going to attach one of these things up top. Like that. Let's get those arms a little bit straighter. Ah, it fell off. Something tells me this isn't going to be the most stable of things in the world. And then next, we're going to attach this thing to the chest, like I said. That just happened as well. Just ignore it. It's only looking for attention. So we put that there, but rotated the other way. Goodness. Making a great impression here, aren't I, folks? And here it is. like a vast predatory bird, to use a Furmanism. And it looks okay. I'm not particularly as thrilled with it as I would like to be. I'm glad it's there, but I really wish Transformations did more, but I can understand that they are limited by what you can do in a easily assembled plastic model kit, as opposed to a Transformer, which is made in a factory with like rivets and pins and all sorts of other stuff. Just double checking the instructions to make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope. So yeah. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but the legs, as you can see, are being weighed down by themselves. And nothing really wants to stay in place. So sadly, this guy is probably not going to get displayed in his alt mode, which makes me a little sad. It'd be nice if it actually would come apart properly too. Fortunately, in its mobile suit mode, it's actually pretty stable. The legs popping out aside. That was one of the little crystals on the back. I'll put that back on after the review. So yeah. This kit probably requires a little bit of extra TLC to get it looking really, really nice. I actually added the silver paint, like I mentioned, as well as some panel lines to make the details really pop. So it's something that I think will really look awesome on your shelf. Just expect a little bit of extra work to really make it pop, and don't expect much from the transformation mode. And yeah, that's been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. And what else? Oh yeah, check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official shelf space t-shirts and other merchandise. Also, don't forget to check out the Balls for Balls contest that is, I think, still going as of this recording. Though when I release this, that may be different. But still, check out the playlist on that over at Shoki Reviews channel. And yeah, so thank you very much, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.